I am really excited about today's video because I'm going to be sharing with you this brand new bike called the TST R002. Let's take a deep dive into this bike. I'm going to share with you everything you need to know, especially when it comes to hunting. This video is going to be broken down into 3 sections. Section 1, I'm going to talk about the bikes, the size, the speed, all of that stuff. Section 2, trail riding with this bike out in a public land hunting situation. Section 3, explain to you how I would use this in a real life hunting situation. As you can see, this is not your typical e-bike. It's got a moped style frame and seat. I really like having a moped seat. It kind of looks like a dirt bike seat because it has a bit more relaxation when it comes to riding it. It doesn't have an aggressive stance like you have on a typical e-bike where you're leaning forward a lot. I want comfort. And one of the ways you can be more comfortable is by sitting up more straight like this, and also by having a bigger seat, especially when it comes to hunting, because what you're looking at when it comes to hunting is wearing bulky clothing. I could even see myself using this for duck hunting and wearing waders to get to my duck hunting locations. So with that being said, I don't want a small, tiny bicycle seat. I like the fact that this has a large seat. The second thing I really like about this bike is that the wheels are 20 inches. A typical bike, especially an e-bike that's meant for outdoors like an e-mountain bike, is going to have the 26-inch wheels. The reason why that makes a big difference to me is because the entire bike sits a little bit lower. So if you are wearing larger hunting clothes, whether that's waders, bibs, or larger pants, you can easily get your leg over the seat and comfortably sit on top of this bike. If the wheels were higher, you would have a much harder time doing that. Just for reference, I'm 5'11", and I can comfortably sit on the seat, put my hands on the handlebars, and have both feet flat-footed on the ground. The other thing I really like about this bike is that it is a fat tire bike. It's got 4-inch wide fat tires on here, which I think is really important. You can go in the sand with this, mud, snow if it's not too deep, over rocky sections, and these are really good for that type of terrain. Having disc hydraulic brakes is really important on these e-bikes, especially because of the weight that you're hauling and the speeds that these things can go. You've got hydraulic disc brakes on the front and hydraulic disc brakes on the back. Because of the weight of this e-bike, you're going to want a big, beefy kickstand, which this one certainly has. It has no problem supporting the bike on its own, even when the terrain is a little uneven. The weight of this bike is approximately 72 pounds. I can maneuver it pretty well just on my own. This is important to me because if I need to lift this into the back of my truck, I need to know whether I'm able to do that or not. Maybe you need to have ramps, maybe you need to bring a trailer in your situation, or maybe you need to have something that attaches to the back of your hitch that you can easily lift your bike on if you have an SUV or something instead of a truck with a cargo area. But knowing that this is 72 pounds, I know that I can handle this on my own. There are e-bikes that are a lot heavier. There are some e-bikes that are slightly less than that. In the back, you have rear suspension here. In the front, you have suspension that's hidden here and over there. There is a plastic fender that fits on the front tire and a plastic fender that fits on the rear tire. To my understanding, not all e-bikes come with fenders like that, which I appreciate because I'm definitely going to need those, considering the places I plan on using this bike for public land. On the front of this bike, you have a great big LED light. That thing is really bright. It's very nice because I'm going to use this as well as a headlight to get out of the woods after dark, and knowing that I've got a big bright light to lead me out of the woods is assuring, especially if I'm going slightly faster with this thing and it's pitch black at night. So I really appreciate that. On the back of the bike, you have a rear light as well, and this can also be used as an indicator whether you're turning left or right. If you were to use this on the street, for example, that can be particularly helpful. This is just here if you want to put a license plate on here. I'm sure some states require that. Up here on the front, you have to excuse this flashing. That's just the camera that's doing that. You've got your controls over here. Brake, Shimano 7-speed gear shifting mechanism here. And then you've also got the throttle, which is on the left side. I actually just pushed this down and the bike took off a little bit. On the screen, it's a very nice, clear, easy screen that anybody can understand. You've got your miles per hour up here, which obviously is 0. This is PAS, which stands for pedal assist. I'm on pedal assist 2. You can go up to pedal assist 5, which I really like, because if you're on pedal assist 1, it'll only let you go a certain speed, like up to 7 or 8 miles an hour. Pedal assist 2, I believe, gets you around 13 miles an hour. This, of course, depends on your weight, how much extra stuff you're carrying, if you're going into the wind, uphill, all of that kind of stuff. And then down here on the bottom right is your trip. So far, since I've turned on the battery and used this e-bike, just now shooting this video, I've gone 0.3 miles. Then up here on the left shows your battery capacity, and right now it's at 100%, or at least very close to it. The light, by the way, I need to add, is powered by your main battery, which is right here. And that's nice knowing that I don't have to put batteries in there like you do with other bikes that are add-on accessories. And then this backlight is also powered by the main battery right over here. This is a battery that actually detaches from the bike. I like the fact that this battery comes out, because if I were to take this to work, for example, I could take the battery out and charge it, like in my office or something, and then put it back on my bike and I'm fully charged for the ride home, and anybody can do this. It comes with a key in order to remove the battery, which I think is nice. If I were to lock this up for in hunting situation to a tree or whatever, I don't want somebody taking my battery, because these are expensive. I believe an extra battery like this is $200. The cool thing about having the option of taking this battery off is that you can charge it inside, leave your bike outside. You can lock it on so people don't steal the battery. It's pretty cool. So I just turn that to the left like you typically would, and the battery pops out like this. Bear in mind that these are 8 pounds. So if you wanted to buy an extra battery, you absolutely could, but it is going to add extra weight to whatever cargo you plan on taking. Let's look at over here. You've got your on and off switch. Obviously you go like that, it turns the battery on. Now the battery is off and you cannot power anything on no matter what. This little rubber bit here is just a dust protector. That's where you'd plug in your battery charger, whether you do that in your house or your garage. Of course, you want to keep that sealed at all times if you're not charging it. Put the battery back on the bike. It's pretty simple. Lift it up, lock it in, and then you want to use that same key, which looks like this, by the way, to lock it back on. You turn it to the right, and now this is secured to the bike. Nobody can take it off, and it's ready to go. In order to get this bike to turn on and have full usage, you need to turn this on by the battery right here. Now it's on. And then up on the handlebar right over here, you need to press and hold this on button for a few seconds, and you'll notice the screen will light up after doing so. Now it's on. Now you're ready to roll. Now that I took the battery off and set it back on the bike, turn it off and turn it back on, the trip is set to 0 again. If I want to put this to pedal assist 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you have to hit the up arrow, which is located over here, with your left thumb. Now I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I mentioned before that the light up here is attached to the battery, and the light control is over here. So if I want to turn the light on, I just press this down for 2 seconds. 1, 2, and you'll notice that the light did turn on, and the one in the back is also on. If you want to use the indicators, what you do is you double tap the arrow, which is to the left, quickly, and it shows here on the screen, see these 2 blinking lines? Now the indicator is demonstrating that you're going to the left, and the blinker is signaling back on the rear light. This will not stay on forever. I believe it does shut off like you see there, which is nice because you could forget that it's on. Likewise, if I want to turn to the right and I'm on the street, I'm going to double tap the arrow here. Indicates that I'm turning right on the screen. It's indicating that I'm turning right with the tail light. Turn off the lights, you hold them down. And you can see the light indication on the screen, as well as me pushing with my thumb here. So I'm going to press, hold down for a little bit. Light goes out there. And obviously the light's going to be off here as well. I recommend keeping it at pedal assist 0 when the bike is just sitting here, and then you can always change it to what you want once you're ready to ride the bike. If I press the brakes over here, you see this symbol on the screen. That means that the brakes are engaged. Not only does the screen tell you how much battery life you have. It also tells you on the battery itself. So if I press this button, it's going to go all the way to full, which is green. There's another green for full. Let me press it again. It's got yellow and red. If it's on yellow, that's probably a good indication that you need to take your bike back to your vehicle or go home if that's where you rode your bike from. The range of this bike is supposed to be 60 miles on one battery charge. What I would do if I were you is I would just take the max range that's suggested by the manufacturer and just cut it in half. There's so many factors. It could be how long you've had the bike, is the battery still charging to its full capacity, the weight, do you have a tailwind, a headwind, are you in a hilly situation, are you going across a lot of mud, snow, rocks? That's going to take a little bit extra energy for this bike to go through. This bike was designed and created as a commuter bike. That means it was not designed for hunting or hauling. But here's the thing, I'm going to use it for both. A commuter bike is something that's created just to get you to work and back. It's not meant for hauling cargo. It doesn't come with any racks or any storage. It doesn't have a trailer you pull behind it. But at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what I plan on doing to make this into a hunting bike and to make this into a bike that's going to be able to haul all of your hunting stuff. The max speed of this bike, if you're using the throttle only, really depends on the situation, like your weight, the wind, the terrain you're going through. You also need to realize that this has an app that you can connect to your phone. It comes with the instructions when you get the bike, and you can unlock what's called Class 3, which allows you to actually make this bike go faster. I've swapped to the GoPro. Let's take this thing for a spin. I'm going to turn it on by pressing this button over here for 2 seconds. The screen lights up. Pedal assist 0, that's not going to help because you want to use the throttle. Now we're at pedal assist 1. I use that just to get going. I'm going to use the throttle over here. I'm not going to pedal at all. I'm only going to be using the throttle. Here we go. It's got decent handling. The fastest I'm going to go is maybe 10 or 11 miles an hour. This is the typical public land trail that you're going to see where I'm from. A lot of public land has access like this for foot traffic and bikes only, but they do not allow ATVs or vehicles. So this is perfect for that. Now this might not get you right up to your tree. It's not designed to do that. But what it can do is get you very, very close, and it's going to help you not sweat and not be tired when you get there. You can wear your big bulky clothing, your big boots. Here in Wisconsin, you need that, especially starting in November. And if you're using this, oh, there's a deer right there up in the trail. You see that way up there? Hopefully that shows up in the camera. Literally running down the trail right now. Anyways, if you're using an e-bike like this, you're a lot quieter than an ATV. You can wear your big bulky boots and your big jacket and bibs, and you're pretty much good to go as far as not sweating. My biggest problem is sometimes I'll get to my stand, I've got a mile of a trail like this, and then I've got maybe a quarter mile where I need to walk in the actual woods where there isn't a trail. And by the time I get to my tree, I'm sweating so bad, and then I'm freezing because I'm cold after like an hour or two of sitting there, which is not great. All right, here I'm going through some pretty high brush, pretty bumpy terrain, and it's handling it really well. Unfortunately, I've got this branch right here, not huge, but it's definitely something that we need to lift the bike over. And being 72 pounds, it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's also not the hardest. I still have not gone past pedal assist 1. You just don't need that much speed on these trails, in my opinion. If you're going 20 miles an hour on these trails, that's way too fast. This is a very common scenario with hunting public land where I'm from. You typically have the parking area, which is where the camera is and behind the camera. And then you've got a gate which blocks off ATVs and vehicles. You can see behind me that most vehicles could easily travel down this road. You could probably take a two-wheel drive car in here most of the times throughout the year. But this public land is blocked off specifically to block ATVs and motorized vehicles like cars or trucks. But with an e-bike, you can easily get around this gate and use it quietly to get back to your hunting location. The question is, how do you use a bike that's designed for commuting as a hunting bike? And my suggestion is use a trailer. There are a lot of trailers that you can purchase online specifically for e-bikes, really heavy duty solid trailers that would work great, whether that's getting a deer out of the woods or just putting your gear in to get to where you want to hunt. However, I might look into the idea of doing a DIY trailer that's going to specifically meet my needs for this bike. Instead of having DIY racks and storage things around the bike itself, I want to put everything in a trailer and then just pull it with the bike. That means the bike is free from all other cargo responsibilities other than just pulling a trailer. This is a mini chicken coop designed for like 5 or 6 chickens. I talked about this on my other homesteading YouTube channel. I built this several years ago when we hardly had any chickens. I've got way too many for this coop now, but I think this would make a really good starter for some type of e-bike trailer. The reason why it would work so well as an e-bike trailer is because it's very small. It's got huge flat-free solid rubber tires. I'll link to those in the description below. I think they're amazing. They're also really good for canoe and kayak carts, which I've built and demonstrated on this channel as well. This will not work as it is at all. For example, I've got chicken wire on here. I've got a lot of heavy lumber that needs to be removed. I need to remove these. I would lift this up and wheel the chickens around to different locations. It's got a nesting box back in here where the birds would perch. You know, this is not meant at all as a trailer for an e-bike, but I thought, boy, if I can get rid of a lot of this stuff around the sides, take a lot of weight out of here, you've got a good solid frame with 2x4s, a steel threaded axle back there with these great big tires, hard solid plastic spokes that will probably never break, at least not in my lifetime. Big solid hardware already on here. This would be a great starter for hauling everything on here. I just need to get an attachment, which I think I can find online, that would attach to this part right here on the bike. That way you can just pull all of your stuff rather than having racks that go around this bike back here and up here. That's not a bad idea. And then you could even close it and lock it. My stand would fit in here. Needs a lot of work, but that's my idea of using this bike, which is designed as a commuter bike just to get to work and stuff, but I want to use it in a hunting situation because it's so comfortable. It meets all of my needs. It's got a lot of power. And I'm really satisfied with everything about the bike other than there's no storage. And even if there was storage, I don't know if it would even fit my stand and my rifle and my extra hunting clothes and things you want to take for these all-day sits or these longer hunting experiences. I don't know if that would be ideal for this bike anyway. So could that all fit in there? Absolutely. You've got a big bulky jacket. You've got great big hunting bibs because it's 10 degrees in December and you're doing some late season hunt. Throw it in the trailer. You're going hunting with some friends and they don't have a trailer, but they've got a bike. Put all your stuff in the trailer, bring it out there for them. Duck decoys. All this is going to be great. If you're a turkey hunter in the spring, you can put your turkey stuff in there just to get out to the general hunting location, then walk in from there. So something like that, which I know is a bit silly, I've got a lot of work to do. I plan on putting a good few hours of restoration into this trailer in order for it to be compatible with this. So that's going to be an upcoming video where I completely turn this into an e-bike trailer. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell if you need to, if you don't want to miss that video, if that could be beneficial to you. The key is these big tires and the big strong axle down here. That's the key. A lot of this is going to look completely different the next time you see this. And that's fine because I've got a really good use for that to go onto here. And as a bit of a side note, I would like to also make this compatible with a kayak or a small canoe. If I can manage just to get it set up for hunting, which is my first priority, I would also like to get this set up for fishing, backwoods lakes, and really mobile situations. I like being mobile, using lightweight gear, small things. So I do plan on having some type of padding on the top, some straps, whether that's bungee straps or ratchet straps, so I can put perhaps my Old Town solo canoe on here or a kayak or something like that that gets me back to these hard to reach areas that would take a long time to get to if I were to walk with my canoe or a kayak back to those hard to reach areas. If you don't want to sweat, you don't want to carry all of your gear, you don't want to use loud, noisy ATVs or UTVs, an e-bike is probably the right thing for you, and I'm excited that I got to share this experience with you. If you'd like to check out this e-bike or any other e-bike made by TST, I will put a link in the description below. By clicking my link in the description below, you can get a $100 discount for this specific bike using that link. But if you've been itching to get really far back in on public land and you don't have access because it takes too long or you can't get your gear back there, this may be a good option for you. Please stay tuned for a future video where I'm going to hopefully build a DIY e-bike trailer for hunting and possibly even fishing. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you on the next video.